Developmental cognitive neuroscience in the 21st century primarily uses three broad methodological approaches: behavioral, neuroimaging, and genetic. Behavioral approaches include observational and experimental behavioral studies in which we observe how our participants spontaneously react or behave under circumstances that we control to the extent possible. They also include formal assessments such as cognitive tests and questionnaires. The second type of study comprises family techniques that allow us to directly study brain structure and function under circumstances that we control. Collectively, these are called neuroimaging techniques. These methods include structural and functional MRI techniques, PET, EEG, FNIRs, and MEG. These aberrations will be explained shortly. The third approach focuses on how genes influence behavior. It includes how gene expression changes over time in response to normal or atypical developmental trajectories, or in response to particular sorts of events in a person's life. These genetic approaches are the topic of Chapter 3. 5 other approaches that DCN researchers use are specialties and advanced topics beyond the scope of this book. We study atypical populations with a variety of neurodevelopmental disorders. We perform and reference animal studies that follow species through their own developmental trends, including mice, rats, and non-human primates, but not lions and tigers and bears. Oh my. We study the effects of various pharmacological interventions on behavior, cognition, and developmental trajectories. We build theories based on meta-analytic approaches in which a large number of studies are examined statistically for trends and commonalities. We use computational approaches, neural network modeling, and artificial intelligence models to better reveal the processes necessary to produce human-like and infant-like thoughts and behaviors. The best of all worlds results when these various technologies and methodological approaches are brought together to create a complete picture of the topic we're interested in. That allows us to formulate stronger theories based on converging evidence. What happens when the evidence from these different approaches is contradictory and fails to converge? This is one of the things that makes science so fun. When we get unexpected results, it very clearly shows us the gaps in our knowledge and what experiments need to be performed next to resolve the contradictions. One of the most exciting findings for a scientist is this gap that we thought we understood the phenomena under study, and we were wrong. It is exciting because it gives us a chance to learn and ultimately to improve our understanding of human behavior. Behavioral experimentation involves designing tasks for adults or older children, outlined below and throughout this book, which often can't be used with infants or young children. Why not? We can't expect them to understand complex task instructions, or provide the kinds of fine motor movements or verbal responses that are typically required in response to this constraint. Researchers have developed any number of creative ways to infer infants and young children's cognitive abilities from their behavior. Moreover, behavioral testing techniques that work with young children won't work with infants, meaning behavioral measures are further tuned depending on children's specific ages.